Hey YouTube, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and we've got your Week 9 start and sit video for the wide receiver position. Again, if you are new to the channel, this is always going to be based off of full PPR and half PPR. If it is standard, this might change a little bit. Now, again, there are 6 teams on a bye. It is bye week hell. There have been injuries. There's a lot going on, so it has been a little bit more challenging than probably usual. So you're going to have some players in here you're probably not normally starting that I think will be some good starts and maybe some good sits this week. Now, these are your obvious starts that you should be going after this week. These guys should be in your lineup. Again, whether it be matchup, whether it be a good start, maybe they're getting targets. These are your obvious starters, absolutely, without question, should be in your lineup. Now, the first wide receiver I think is going to be a good start this week is going to be Joshua Palmer versus the Falcons. Now, look, Keenan Allen unfortunately hurt his hamstring again during his bye week. I don't expect Keenan Allen back this season. I don't. At his age, he's had some soft tissue, with his hamstring going on. There's a lot going on there. And that kind of stuff takes some time, especially if you're not dealing with surgery. You're going to be out for a while. And then, of course, Mike Williams is hurt. Palmer's coming back from a concussion, 2 weeks now since he had his concussion, but he is coming back. You got DeAndre Carter as well, but I like Palmer a lot more in this aspect. Falcons give up the most points to wide receivers with 46.6 and over 215 passing yards to wide receivers alone. Plus, they average a touchdown to wide receivers every game as well. So right now, Joshua Palmer is the wide receiver 1 for the Chargers, and he should be treated as such. He's going to get probably anywhere from 7 to 12 targets. Because they are going to pass. I do think they're going to utilize, obviously, Eckler a little bit more, just because I don't think the Falcons are necessarily a threat. Falcons are going to do their best. They're going to try hard. They are in the lead right now in the NFC South, but I don't expect much there. So I like this matchup as Joshua Palmer. If you have DeAndre Carter too, I think he's going to be a nice little flex play, but I like Palmer a little bit more. Another receiver I like this week is going to be Chris Olave versus the Ravens. Michael Thomas has been officially placed on IR. That is an update from where my previous recording was, but he is on IR. He's been out. Jarvis Landry may play, which I think actually helps out Chris Olave. Right now, Chris Olave becomes the clear wide receiver 1 on this offense. Plus, the Ravens allow 39.7 points to wide receivers and over 200 passing yards as well. They're also allowing a touchdown per game. Their secondary is not playing well now. With obviously adding Smith from the Bears, I think that helps, but I think it's more against the run. He does do a really good job against tight ends. He's got some great pass coverage. He's a really good linebacker, but I like Chris Olave as a good play here. Now, the last receiver I think is going to be a good start. It's going to be Juju Smith-Schuster going against the Titans. Titans give up the 6th most points to wide receivers with 39.2. They're also allowing a touchdown per game to wide receivers as well. Juju has 23 points per game in the last 2 games. That's what he's averaging right now, which has been phenomenal. He's either seeing plenty of targets or he's at least getting a touchdown in the game. So this is a really good matchup for him. I like Juju a lot. He's starting to really blossom in this Kansas City offense. And now with the addition of Kadarius Toney, who I think is going to be a really good asset as long as he is truly healthy, which I think he is. I think he was just on healthy scratch. They didn't say it, but I think Giants were. I like Tony as an add-on, but I like Juju as a good start. Now, the first receiver I'm sitting this week is going to be Garrett Wilson against the Buffalo Bills. Bills allow 31.1 points to wide receivers. They've only allowed over 16 points to a wide receiver 3 times this season. Garrett has been very inconsistent. A lot has to do with the fact that Zach Wilson has been inconsistent. The passing game has increased since Breece Hall has gone down, but they are obviously slowly implementing James Robinson, which I think is going to increase the rushing again with James Robinson and Michael Carter. Plus, Tre'Davious White's supposed to be back for the Buffalo Bills from injury, which he's a phenomenal cornerback, and if he is healthy, he's going to be covering Garrett Wilson, which is going to only hurt him. So I don't like Wilson this week. DJ Moore is another guy I'm sitting. Now, I had DJ Moore as some good starts the last 2 weeks, and he performed really well. In the last 2 weeks, he's seen 21 targets the last 2 games. He's performed really well, but this matchup's a little bit tougher. The Bengals actually do a really good job against wide receivers, only allowing 30.1 points. And they've also only allowed 4 touchdowns this whole season to wide receivers. Do I think this game is going to be a little bit better than I think most people will? I actually do. I think PJ Walker is underrated. I think he's done a phenomenal job with where he's at right now. DJ Moore I like a lot, but there's not a lot of other weapons on this offense. And I think they're going to try to run the ball to keep this game close. They're going to have Foreman and Hubbard back. So I I just don't expect DJ Moore to have the games he's had the last 2 weeks. Another receiver I'm sitting is going to be Michael Pittman against the Patriots. Patriots hold receivers to 30 points a game. Very few targets do they allow. And again, with the new quarterback in there and Ellinger, I just don't have a whole lot of trust in this Colts offense. They just fired their offensive coordinator because they are underperforming a lot. And realistically, the Pats have only allowed 17 points to a wide receiver only a few times this season. Pittman has been inconsistent. A lot of it is the quarterback play. You go from Matt Ryan, who hasn't performed well. You got now Ellinger, who obviously is still new and he's learning in this offense. It's just, I hate to see it because I like Michael Pittman. I was really high on him this season. But he's someone I'm sitting. Now, as far as some sleepers, I got Hunter Renfrow versus the Jaguars. Jaguars are in the middle of the pack in stopping wide receivers. They do allow 33.1 points, but they do allow a touchdown pass per game. Last week, they only allowed Sutton 2 points. And the reason why I bring that up is Jerry Jeudy had 18 points, and Jeudy plays a lot of the slot. They keep Sutton on the outside. And that's kind of where Renfrow obviously does most of his damage, is obviously in the slot. So that fact is, they're going to do a really good job, obviously, maintaining and containing Devontae Adams. I do have Devontae Adams as an obvious start because you just have to with his capability, but he may be the one who underperforms, and Renfrow is the one who actually shines in this game. That's why I have him as a good sleeper. Another receiver I have is Allen Lazard versus the Lions. Now, Lazard should play this week. He is obviously, he was unhealthy. He's expected to be back this week. If he is back, this is a perfect game to come back to because the Lions allow the 5th most points to wide receivers with 39.5. They're also allowing 194 passing yards, 2 receivers, and a touchdown per game. And the Lions just allowed Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle to have 30 points each. Now, this is not the same offense, obviously, that the Dolphins have, but I do expect Lazard to have a really good game. He is obviously Aaron Rodgers' favorite target. Dobbs has done a good job, obviously, as well. I think Dobbs is another good play as, again, as a flex play if you guys need some points, but I like Lazard a lot this week if he is back healthy. So those are my start, sits, and sleepers for the wide receiver week 9 edition. If you guys have any questions of who you should start or sit, or if you guys are getting close to your trade deadlines and you guys have some trades going on and you have questions, hit us up in the comments down below. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys did enjoy the content, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell is on. Of course, hit the like button. It's greatly appreciated. You guys are amazing. Make sure you guys check out our start sits for running backs and quarterbacks as well. We'll be dropping our tight end as well there. Again, make sure you hit the subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. Ask us in the comments down below any questions you guys have, and I'll check you guys out next time.